So why are we talking to you? Well, you've summoned us, but what's this all about? What is this knowledge that we are helping you to remember or find resonance with? What's its value to you? Why is it of advantage for you to understand that you are the creator of your own reality? Why is it of advantage for you to recognize that there are two vibrational aspects of you going on in every moment that you are focused in this physical body? Why is it important for you to know that these two aspects exist and that there is an emotional bond between them that lets you know how aligned you are with what you have created and its furthest extension, or how resistant you are to it? Well, it's not important in the sense that the longevity of your planet is at stake, because it isn't. Well-being is assured. It's not important if you are thinking in terms of even your reemerging in the non-physical and your understanding who you are and fulfilling your reason for being, because as you bang around in this physical life experience, you are becoming, and in what you call your death experience, we call it your croaking experience. We try to be disrespectful since there is no death. When you reemerge back into non-physical, you catch up with all that this life has added to who you are. In other words, you catch up with all that you are. So there's no big thing that is at risk if you, as this small cluster of people, or even mass consciousness, doesn't hear this, because the whole thing is so well established. You are source energy, and you are coming forward, and you are adding to the expansion of the universe because of being here in this physical body. And the larger part of you is expanding, and you will feel the utter satisfaction of all of that when you have your entrance or withdrawal from the physical back into the non-physical. You'll feel all of that satisfaction. The reason that we are visiting with you now is we don't think you should have to croak to find that satisfaction. We think you should be able to be here in this physical body and understand the wholeness of who you are. And we think that you are wise enough to tune yourself to the wholest part of who you are. We think that you should be able to be here in a physical body, explore the details, know what you don't want, know what you do want, and use your emotions to keep you tuned to the furthest expanded version of who you are. Because we know this for sure. When you don't feel good. So you can't hold your expansion back. It's a byproduct of life. You cannot hold your expansion back, but you can lazily or sloppily tune yourself out of alignment with that. And when you do, you feel crummy. When you do, you get sick. When you do, you don't like life. When you do, you feel fear, you feel hate, you feel anger. You feel all of those things that are just emotional indicators or physical manifestational indicators of thinking by default, really. Just thinking because it's in front of you. It'd be like sitting in front of your television and there's a program on and someone comes in and says, "What is it?" And you say, "I don't know, but it's really miserable." And they say, "Why don't you change the channel?" And you say, "What?" I never change the channel. I just come into the room and I sit down and I watch what's there. And then I comment on it. Just letting you know, this particular thing is really awful. We're not kidding. That's mostly what you do. You read the front page of the newspaper and you have a knee-jerk response to it. You watch CNN and you have a knee-jerk response to it. And your kids call or your neighbors do something and you just look around and you respond. You just observe and respond and observe and respond and observe and respond. The good news is, every time you observe and respond, you launch a rocket of improvement. But if you don't do something about then tuning yourself to the improvement, then what happens is your life gets away from you. That's why the longer people live in their bodies, the ornerier and the sicker they usually get. Because life kept causing them to expand, but they didn't go. They just kept watching the same channel. They just kept observing and commenting on what they were observing. So this Art of Allowing workshop, this is about The art of allowing what? The art of allowing me in my physical human body, with my physical mind, with my physical ability to focus, is about me using my ability to focus myself into alignment with the furthest that I have become. And that is where true satisfaction comes from. Moment to moment to moment satisfaction. Nothing is more delicious than to explore life and know what you don't want and know what you do want, and then recognize that you've expanded. You can tell because you feel uneasy. You've expanded to a new place, but you've got chronic habits of thought that aren't letting you go there. What we want to introduce to you in a way that you can really feel it, and in a way that we would like very much if it evokes a new decision within you, we want you to be on the quest for the path of least resistance. And we want you to understand that the path of least resistance is this viable, magnificent path because the source within you has already carved it out. All of these rockets of desires that you put over here into this vortex of creation have put a powerful, powerful point of attraction into motion where all cooperative components have been assembled. So the question that this workshop asks of you and will help you answer is, are you a cooperative component of your own creation? We want you to get it. You are the creator of you. You have created a prosperous, healthy, vital, alive, good feeling, good timing, very exhilarated version of you into your vortex of creation. And you've got to find ways of focusing yourself into alignment with that before you can, in this moment, in real time, experience the true version of who you are. You are not meant to be fragmented beings. You are meant to see your life through the eyes of Source. You're meant to understand your world from the viewpoint of Source. So, we are eager to talk with you about anything that matters to you. We have a very full and clear and exhilarated view of your vortex. Do you understand this vibrational reality that we are demonstrating? Do you get it? That through life you have created a vibrational version of you, and that vibrational version, you can feel it? You can feel the vibrational version of you. When you're in tune with it, you feel exhilarated. When you're out of tune with it, you feel off. Bad mood means you're out of sync with it. Good mood means you're in sync with it. So you can tell by the way you feel how in alignment you are with this version of you. Have you heard enough from us? Have you heard it before today, or did you hear it today? Do you get it that you have two vibrational aspects and that every emotion you feel is an indicator of how well those two vibrational aspects are blending or not blending? That's the key to everything about your life. It's the key to your mood from here on, and it's the key to you knowing what your guidance is showing you in terms of finding the fulfilling satisfaction that you came here to live. So, we want you to understand that we have the glorious experience of getting to witness as you sit in the room or as you sit in the chair, both vibrational aspects of you and the relationship they have to one another. And we stand unequivocally, completely inside your vortex of creation. We stand in solidarity with the wholeness of who you are. We will not come out of your vortex to commiserate with you just because you're out of your vortex. We will stand in your vortex knowing that you very much want to be in there too, and we will use every possible thing that we can find to coax you into the vortex. But the most important thing that we want you to understand is you have to make the decision that you want to be there. You have to understand that the vortex exists and that the larger part of you is there. And there's one last thing. You must pay the sacrificial price of joy. You have to care that you feel good before anything that we say or any guidance that we help to awaken within you will have any meaning for you. You are the creator of your experience, and you create with the focus that you find. So it is our desire to help you to realize that you can focus into this vortex And you can bring a manifestational evidence of everything that you want about quickly. But you can't focus on what is and on this vortex of creation at the same time. And that's mostly what we're going to be talking about here today. How you can find the vibration of what's going on in the vortex. And the biggest thing that trips you up is that you are using your physical senses in such a magnificent way in order to define or explain or even sometimes to explore your physical reality, that you talk in terms of what you see and what you hear and what you smell and taste and touch. It's a tactile, physical reality, this what-isness of this reality. Where this vibrational reality that we're describing, you can't see it because it hasn't manifested in that way. You can't hear it, you can't smell it or taste it or touch it, but you can know it by the feeling of it. In other words, if we can get you addicted to the feeling of well-being, then you can feel your way into the vortex. And once you feel your way in, and you establish a chronic pattern of thought that allows you to linger there, then full view, full manifestation comes next. There's a little tripping point on explaining that step to you for this reason. You don't really get it, and it's all right, but you don't really get it. That this physical world that you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch is only vibrational interpretation. And most of you don't get it, that the only difference between this vibrational reality that we're describing and the reality that you are so enamored with is that the physical reality has come into fuller focus for you. If you can stay with us just for a moment and accept that it's only a vibrational adjustment between the vibrational version and the manifested version. In other words, to you, sometimes it feels like, well, this is reality. And Abraham's talking about fairy tales and Never Never Land and other worldly things and non-physical stuff. And sure, I might feel better if I focus into their fairyland, but how does reality fit with that? And we want you to understand that reality is an extension of the same thing. We're not kidding you. You can focus yourself into vibrational sync by feeling your way into the vortex. And if you will, every time you find yourself in there, milk it longer until you have made a concrete habit of sustaining the high-flying, good feeling, secure feeling, vital and alive feeling, love feeling, well-being feeling of being in the vortex. If you will make those emotions chronically your own, the manifestations will be so fast on the heels of that people who are watching you will say, what magic have you found? And your response from inside the vortex will be, it's the promise that we all held when we came forth. It's the promise that we are the creator of our own experience and that we get to live the full manifestation of it here. The reason that so many humans are sort of out of whack with that is because you've been making an art of resistance instead of an art of allowing. That's all that it is. You've practiced your resistant thoughts more than you've practiced your allowing thoughts. It's easier to be mad and be ornery and make lists of what you don't want than it is to feel good and be happy and make lists of what you do want. You've been facing the reality and you've been leaning resistant rather than leaning allowing. And that's why we're here, to remind you of who you really are and how it all works. So, can't get it wrong. You never get it done. You will never disappoint us. We stand in the vortex where who you have really become is, and we revel in the expansion that is you, and we love nothing more than when you catch up with you, but you have no assignment to catch up with you. It's your own choice to live joyously or not. You won't make anybody mad who's in the vortex.